what it truly means to be a financial calm as a woman. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Second Bloom. I was thinking about this recently. What does it actually mean to feel financially calm? Not rich, not successful in the usual sense, just calm. If you are still a student or in your early 20s, it's completely okay if you haven't figured this out. Most people haven't. You are still learning, still trying things, and still finding your rhythm. But maybe this is something you can slowly grow into. So, let me ask you something. Right now, if something unexpected happened, like a sudden bill or a change in your income, would you feel stressed? Or would you feel like, it's okay, I can handle this? Just notice your first reaction, because that feeling is actually a very honest indicator of where you are. For me, financial calm is quite simple. It's being able to live your life, your normal, everyday life, without that constant pressure sitting in the background. You can pay your rent, you can cover your bills, you can go about your day without quietly worry. And maybe you also have a small amount set aside, not for anything exciting, but just there, a quiet buffer. And if this is you, say this to yourself: I'm doing very well. Don't be shy to congratulate yourself. Stability deserves recognition. What I've noticed is financial calm doesn't change everything overnight, but it changes how you move through life. For example, your decisions feel different. When money is tight, everything feels urgent. You just want to fix things quickly. You don't always have the space to think. But when things are a bit more stable, you slow down. You give yourself a moment, you think things through, and you start making decisions you actually feel good about. It also quietly gives you something very important, which is options. Have you ever stayed in something longer than you wanted to? A job that didn't feel right, a situation that drained you. Not because you wanted to, but because living felt too risky. Financial calm doesn't make life perfect, but it gives you the ability to say, I don't have to stay here. And that feeling is quite powerful. It also changes your energy in a way that's harder to explain, but you can feel it. When money feels tight, there's always this low-level tension. You notice every expense, every imbalance. It's exhausting, even if you don't realize it. But when that pressure softens, you soften too. You become calmer, less reactive, more present. And somehow, people around you can feel that shift. Another thing is independence. When you rely on someone else financially, even a little, it can influence your decisions more than you expect. You might hold back, you might stay quiet, you might tolerate things that you normally wouldn't. But when you know you can support yourself, you move differently, you speak more clearly, you decide more freely. Not because you are trying to be strong, but because you don't feel restricted. And over time, this becomes a kind of quiet confidence. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to explain yourself. You just feel steady. And that kind of steadiness is actually very attractive. Not in a loud way, but in a way that feels real and grounded. So if you are wondering how do I even start building this, it doesn't have to be complicated. Start with your basics. Just gently look at your life right now. Is your income enough to support your daily needs without constant stress? If not, that's okay, but that's your starting point. And if you can, slowly think about adding another source of income. It doesn't have to be big, even something small can make a difference over time. Then, be honest about your numbers. I know this part is not fun. But just ask yourself, do I actually know how much I spend every month? And if my income stopped it, how long could I manage? You don't need a perfect answers, but just awareness. Because avoiding it creates anxiety and facing it creates a sense of control. Then keep things simple. You don't need a complicated system. Just separate your essentials, your lifestyle, and your savings. That's enough to start. And if you can, slowly build a small cushion, even just a little at first, something that sits there quietly, so you know you'll be okay even something changes. And maybe before you spend your money next time, just pause for a second and ask yourself, do I actually want this, or do I feel I should have it? That one small pause can change your habit more than you think. So if I can leave you with one thing, financial karma isn't about become rich, it's about become steady. And when you are steady, you don't rush, you don't react out of fear, you don't feel the need to prove yourself. At some point, you will need to decide what enough means for you, because once you know that, you stop chasing and you start choosing. As a steady woman, we don't rush, we don't beg, we choose. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Bye guys.